Well, I didn't really have one. I mean, after graduating Stanford, my agent got me the Otosh job, and up until then, it was just see if I could play professionally. Jaehoon was my coach at Botosh, and he offered me the scholar or the passport the following year. And talking it over with my family, and it turned out to be the best option for me, and it really did. It was a great opportunity for it to play with the national team. And really, that's kind of what kept me playing after that for years. Passport and my familiarity with the country, it really steered my career the rest of the way. I really didn't know. As a 22-year-old, I hadn't played or experienced anything beyond, as far as playing, beyond playing in America. I knew that there were a lot of opportunity to play overseas. And I knew the caliber of players that were playing in Turkey. So I knew the competitiveness and that it was a good country for basketball. But other than that, it was a very new experience for me. Um, and so coming over here and just experience playing against those type of players, it was very new. I was in Europe, but it was all very new for a 22-year-old fresh out of college. He was the first one to approach me about it. I didn't. It was very, other countries didn't have that. I know at the time Becky Hammon was an American that got naturalized for Russia, but didn't have a lot of um, people to about what that process would be like. There was Corey Enghusen, Corel, who was on the team before me, and I knew her. She was a Stanford graduate as well. Talked to her about it. As far as knowing what was to come, I really, Jaehoon, offered it to me. What would entail, and I think at the time I wanted to try my hand in the WNBA again. And the summer months were when the national team played. So I said no at first. I said I want to try see if I can make a WNBA team again because I couldn't do both. Um, so I did. I tried, and I got cut after training camp in the WNBA. And Jahan came back to me. He's like, "Okay, now, do you want to start? Do you want to do it again?" And so I was like, "Okay, now I think I'm done with the WNBA. This is my, chance to get the passport and play in the summer for the national team." And so that's when I made the decision to get the passport. And after that, it was kind of a whirlwind with everybody helping me, who was helping me get it, the whole process. It happened very quickly, and I got it that summer of 2008 to play in the qualification for EuroBasket. Yeah, what a great tournament we had. We started off slow, I remember. We lost a couple games that we were not happy with. Um, we had goals going into that. We had a goal going into that tournament to make the Olympics or to make the Olympic qualifying tournament the next year, which is the top five. And the way we started, we didn't put ourselves in a very good position for that. We ended up winning our last game barely just to make it into the top, just to make it to the quarterfinals. So once we won that game, once we were in the quarterfinals, we were matched up against the top seed Montenegro, who hadn't lost a game up until that point. So we knew it was going to be a tough game, and that was also a great game for us. That was a close one, and when we won that one, we ensured our spot in the top four, which naturally ensured our Olympic qualifying tournament spot. So once we won Montenegro and advanced to the semis, the pressure was a little bit off of us. We had already outperformed what we were expected to. We beat the number one seed. And so going into the France game, we were pretty relaxed. We didn't have a lot of pressure. But as that game went on, we realized we can keep going. Like, why not? And we were just having fun. I remember having a lot of fun playing with all of those girls. It was an awesome summer. And up until that game, it was, we were just clicking, and we were clicking at the right time. And yeah, what a game to advance to the gold medal game and ensure ourselves a medal. And yeah, I mean, I remember it really clearly. It was one of the highlights of my career. I remember a highlight of that boy. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little heartbreaking to see, but obviously we're sorry, but we were so happy. I mean, we had the Turkish fans at that game. There were so many. I'm always amazed at how many Turkish fans there are wherever we go in Turkey. So, or wherever we go all over Europe. So just the support we had was unbelievable. I mean, just goosebumps up and down that entire game because of the support we had. They had a lot of fans too, but what a great atmosphere that we got to play in. I mean, that's something I won't forget. It's just the fans and just the whole atmosphere of that game was incredible. Yeah, I mean, I've never wanted to be defined by playing on one court. Growing up, I had a coach here in my hometown that encouraged me to be multidimensional. I was tall, and people were like, "Go down and post up," and I said, "No, I want to be a point guard." So I worked on my game. I worked on my mid range, my ball handling, and I think that's something no player should find by their size. They should work on all facets of the game, because it's going to pay off later on. If you have the mid-range game, if you have an outside shot, it makes you harder to guard. It makes you, yeah, it brings more to the table. And so I think that's just came naturally since I was young. I never wanted to just be a down on the block 6'5" player that I was supposed to be if you put me in a box. So I had coaches that helped me grow my game in the mid range and 3-point shot. And into college, I was allowed to do that. So it's always been a part of my game. I've never wanted to not have that. So I think it's something all young players should do. They should work on, and not just tall players. You short players should have a post game too. You're always going to play against somebody, so why not work on a post up game? So I think it's just come naturally to me, and I worked hard on it, and it paid off for me. Well, I'm fortunate enough to play with some of the legends of P. You mentioned a few of them earlier. They're against some of the best players in women's Turkish history, and I hope they're not going to be the last. I know with our performance in those games and the subsequent Olympic trips and World Championship trips that there were young girls in Turkey watching, and I hope that inspired another generation to want to be on that stage again. That works. If you see if you see that on TV, if you see your role models doing that, like that's how you move entry. And Turkish basketball has some great talent. They were deservedly so, always in the top conversation. Wherever tournament they went to, they were in the conversation. So I think in order to keep that going, you just have to have generation after generation be um, involved and working hard, and the to be passed down to the younger generation for Turkish basketball to continue to thrive, for it to grow, and not just Turkish basketball, but you see that in all the other countries in Europe, smaller countries. Belgium is an example of like a very small country that has outperformed what it should do just because they had a younger generation coming up playing together. It's very exciting to watch the future. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to watch more Turkish basketball in the future on the world stage.